What's up, freaks? Thanks for taking the time to stop by. Today's video is about the infamous Japanese legend of Teke Teke, or Teke Teke, depending on how you want to say it. Watch till the end for an awesome giveaway. There are plenty of urban legends and ghost stories from around the world, but I've always been fascinated with Japan's strange yet eerie tales. They create such creepy atmosphere, and much like their movies, they can feel somewhat real, and maybe they are. A young schoolboy leaves his school at the end of a long day. He had stayed back for some extra activities, and due to the settling in of winter, it was quite dark outside. He leaves the main doors of the building and begins to cross the yard into an alley between the school and the neighboring buildings. As he winds his way through the cramped maze of city blocks, preferring to avoid the smog, thick air of the main roads, he begins to feel as if he is watched. A mild paranoia sets in, as he has heard several strange stories about things taking place in such locations. So he increases his pace, his feet slapping in the puddles and on the damp ground. The alley suddenly opens up into a small yard. Several paths exit between other buildings. He is unfamiliar with this location, although he has walked this way, well, what he thought was this way, many times before. The buildings climb to the sky overhead, lightless windows staring down at him, all except for one. The silhouette of a young woman is plain to see in the second floor window of one of the buildings. Although the backlight casts her into shadow, he can still make out the delicate features of a girl about his age. Leaning on her elbows in the windowsill, he walks to her in hopes of asking for directions, as he is undoubtedly lost. The sudden sound of a train can be heard, the roar passing through the alleys. He must be near a train line. Yes, definitely lost. Smiling, he approaches the building the girl can be seen in. As he nears the base of the older brick and concrete structure, he clearly sees her face from a bemused smile to angry, sneering with a curled lip. He is more than startled when she launches herself from the window. It is not the speed and the strength at which she leaves the building, but rather the fact that she is missing the bottom half of her body. As she arcs over him, he can clearly see she has no legs. Her entrails dangle from a ghastly slice that rents her in two. She lands beyond him, facing the other way. She pulls herself to height, standing on her hands, her torso drooping below her. She stares at him, her long black hair passing over her face, yet he can still see she wears a face of pure contempt. She takes several steps towards him, hand over hand, each step making a curious sound as it slaps the ground. The boy screams and runs as fast as he can away from the girl. However, soon, all too soon, he can hear her chasing him. He does not stop to turn around to see how much she is gaining on him. Each of her steps closer and closer. The alley starts to open up. He can see a fence ahead as well as the train lines. He passes the wasteland between the buildings and the line as fast as he can. The terrible sound of the creatures slapping hands continue to make their signature sound. At the last moment, the boy jumps at the chain link fence and starts to scramble over it, but soon finds himself back on the ground. He blinks, pain shoots through his side, and the face of the girl is looking directly into his. He blacks out and passes away, not entirely sure what has happened. The following morning, a young schoolboy is found next to the fence that runs along the train lines. He has been cut in half, and handprints led to and from his corpse. Alternate names: Hakashaka, Patapata, Katakata, Kotokoto, and Hijikake Baba. Appearance: Teke Teke is a ghost who appears in a number of urban legends. Teke Teke are almost always women, though in few versions of the urban legend, the ghost is a male. She has no lower half. She runs about on her arms, creating the distinctive Teke Teke sound from which she gets her name. Interactions. Teke Teke chases its victims down dark roads. Despite having no legs, a Teke Teke can run incredibly fast. So fast, in fact, that it can even catch up to victims who are speeding away in cars. When it catches them, something terrible happens. The legends are not always clear what. In some variations of the story, the Teke Teke carries a sickle. It slices its victims in half at the waist and steals their legs. Origin. Like with most urban legends, there are so many versions of the Teke Teke story that it is impossible to know what the original story was or where it began. Every locality has its own version with different details. In some stories, the Teke Teke was a victim of a tragic accident. In others, it was a suicide. In some stories, certain magic charms can protect you from its wrath. In others, nothing can protect you, and you will certainly die. In some variations, the Teke Teke victims become Teke Teke themselves. There are a number of threads in common between many of the variations, and the most common ones point towards a woman from Hokkaido named Kashima Raiko. Legends. In the years after World War II, an office worker in Mororan, Hokkaido, was assaulted and raped by American military personnel. That night, she leaped off a bridge onto the railroad tracks and was hit by an oncoming train. The impact was so forceful that her body was torn in half at the waist. The severe cold of the Hokkaido night caused her blood vessels to contract and prevented her from bleeding out quickly. Instead, she squirmed and wriggled about for help for several minutes. She crawled all the way to the train station and was seen by an attendant. Instead of trying to help her, the station attendant just covered her with a plastic tarp. She died a slow, agonizing death. The ghost will try to catch you. An escape is impossible, even in a car. The ghost can crawl at speeds up to 150 kilometers per hour. Some say the ghost is searching for her legs, which were lost when she was cut in half. Others say that she is angry at humanity for not helping her when she was dying, and that she is simply out to slaughter as many people as she can. When she catches you, she will tear you in half and steal the lower half of your body. Shortly after hearing the legend, she will ask you a riddle, either in a dream or in a mysterious phone call. The only way to escape her death is to answer her questions exactly the right way. She will ask you, "Do you need your legs?" You must reply, "I need them right now." Then she will ask you, "Who told you my story?" You must reply, "Kashima Raiko." Ka as in mask, shi as in death, ma as in demon, re as in ghost, and ko as in accident. If you answer her riddles without mistake, she may just let you live. And that is the story of the Teke Teke. I really do hope you're enjoying these videos. I put a lot of time and effort into them. From the drawing to the editing, it all takes lots of time. And the winner of the last video's question, "What was your favorite urban legend?" goes to Gordon Chen. If you want a chance to win one of these prints, this video's question is, what country would you like to visit the most? Like this video and leave your answer below. I'll be choosing one lucky subscriber. And with that being said, remember, freaks don't sleep.